All right, guys, welcome back to 12 Step Up. It's been a while since we did an episode. We're waiting for people to agree to do the show, so we have quite a few people that have agreed to do the show. Before I go any further, please like, share, and subscribe. And for some of you folks out there, if you don't understand what subscribe means, you subscribe to the channel. You don't actually pay the channel. You just subscribing and you're getting notifications. Um, Having said that, subscribe. Today we have a good friend of mine, Jim.
What's going, Richie?
How you doing?
Doing good, thanks.
Good. I've known you for a little bit. Uh, how are you doing?
Doing good. Really doing good. Coming up on 2 years on the 17th. No birthday cake needed, but yeah, I'm loving it. Life is way better today than I can remember in the last 13, 14 years. So
You know what's awesome is I remember seeing you, going into our 12-step meetings and thinking to myself, man, this guy's gonna make it. I know he's gonna make it. I knew that. I don't know how. But I heard early on that the more you root for somebody, the higher the chances.
yeah.
You're one of those dudes that I always root for. I'm gonna give you guys a little memory with Jim here. I love sharing this one. We were in a camp um, out in the boonies, dry camping. We'd been there for I don't know 4 or 5 days, and it was time to wrap up and go home. And we were wrapping up, and actually we were putting my trailer back on the truck, and here comes a biker dude, man. I'm like, who the hell is that? Who's gonna, you know what I mean? And then I remember seeing him, and I told my wife, I was like, dude, Jim just rode through this. Like, that's crazy. That's all. That's one of the most fondest memories I have of you. Um, so why don't you? Let's start with this. Why don't you tell me? And we don't have to get in detail. Why don't you give me an example of how bad it got for you?
Wow. It got bad enough that I wanted to come into the program. I wanted to come in. Um, I wanted to stop drinking. I was suffering from PTSD, anger issues, uncontrollable drinking bouts that would last. Well, it was daily drinking, so I'd just go on and on and on. Didn't stop. And wrecked relationships. When I decided to come back in, I was in a relationship that wasn't working out, and I knew it. And she had to be where she needed to be, and I had to be where I needed to be, and I needed to be sober. And I came in, and it was an amazing group of people. They made me feel wanted right off. But for me to work through my PTSD, my anger, my fears, I had fear of failure, fear of not measuring up, fear of not being good enough, fear of not having enough, fear of everything. And then you give me a loud sound, and I'm like totally freaked out.
Yeah.
The daily drinking wrecked me. I was just totally cashed out, literally, just into alcohol, and and I got to just, I don't know. I think God came in my life. Got up, took a shower, didn't touch the bottle inside my kitchen, and went to a 12 o'clock and started getting back in the fellowship. It's amazing.
Now, you have kids, right?
I do. I got two.
You got two kids. Uh, you were in the service.
I was in the Marines and for 4 years, and there's a story there if you want to hear one. No, it's I learned how to drink power drink when I was in the Marines because that's what we all did on our time off, and it wasn't a good time. I wasn't going to make it a career. I obligated myself for 4 years. Don't get me wrong, I love the Marine Corps, um, as you can see, and it's a great part of my life. The discipline side is a great part of my life. The chaos that I went through and that I participated in was not a great time in my life, but I learned from it, and I got to get out. I got to raise two kids, uh, two different moms, and I got to get sober briefly in that time. Well, not briefly; it was 19 years actually. And I
Sober for
raised.
19 years?
Say again?
You were sober for 19 years?
Yes, I came in originally in '90, um, and then I went back out in 2009, and went out and stayed out for 13 years, just punishing myself. But my kids came out great. They had me for a good length of time when I was sober and I was stable and I was a good dad. Really good.
That's awesome, dude. Um, how bad did it have to get for you to seek help, to actually say, you know what, I'm done, I'm defeated, I can't do this anymore?
It got really, really bad, which is really kind of the way it came about was really strange in that in my past, especially while I was drinking, I didn't care about you really. I didn't care about many other people. I wasn't a really good dad. I would give them time, but it wasn't quality time. So the thing was, the biggest thing that I didn't really like about myself at the time was that I didn't care about other people. It came down to one night where, in a blackout drunk, I said something to my then fiance that was absolutely horrible and cruel, very cruel. And when I came to the next morning, it was on my head that I had done something really, really bad. It wasn't physical. It was, I attacked her, if you will, emotionally,
Yeah.
taking away her stability in that. And for the first time in a very long time that I can remember, somebody else's somebody else's feelings, and that I hurt them actually caused me to think and then to react. I truly believe it was God putting it on my heart that I needed to stop and go to AA because I knew at AA before it would work. Why I went out, I have no idea. But that's it. It got so bad that I didn't care about my house. I didn't care about my bike. I didn't care about my truck. I didn't care about my other bike. I didn't care about my work. And but all of that would take care of itself. I knew it was hurting somebody, and I finally got to feel what it is to hurt somebody. Not good.
Yeah. I know that all too well. I was married twice before.
Hmm.
My first my first wife, I was we would fight. We got married young, and we would argue, and we said some really bad things to one another. And towards the end of my drinking career, I kind of I was doing a lot of verbal
Hmm.
abuse,
Yeah.
and but the second wife, I did the same thing, but I did that times 100.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was a POS, so I know that feeling, man, and I know that we can get past that. As a matter of fact, my first wife and I, she'll call me up, man, and she'll, we were friends at one point,
Yeah.
so she'll call me up every now and then, and she'll ask me, how you doing, what's going on, and stuff like that, and we'll shoot and we have a pretty good relationship. Our children are now older, so we don't have to talk.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we really don't. Honestly, she seems to be in a good place now, and she doesn't call me as much anymore, which is good.
Hmm.
Um, Now, my second ex and I, believe it or not, she made amends to me at a courtroom.
In the courtroom.
In the courtroom. Didn't give me time to make an amends, but I did. I did eventually. We don't have a good relationship at all, but I mean, I don't have to be abusive anymore. I don't have my current wife. I don't have to do that anymore. I found solution in program, and that's all that matters, man. What do you think what do you think your sobriety, the biggest part of your sobriety is, right?
Right now, my total dependence upon God of my understanding. I recognize Him every day, every morning, throughout the day, especially every evening when I lay down. I got to go, okay, what's my injury list for tomorrow that I got to deal with? And typically, there's really nothing that I have to deal with. I do have recollections of the past in my evenings, and I say, okay, yeah, ooh, wow, I got an amends I got to make there.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about.
Yeah.
And it pops up, and then again, the fact that how this came about, I have no idea, but it's like a genuine feeling of wanting to be wanted by other people and wanting nothing but best for them. You know, I don't even care about myself now, in as much as I'll take care of myself, my health, my sobriety for sure. But it's like what's going on with you means so much more now today than it ever did in the past.
So is it quiet in here?
Oh no, it's not quiet. When I'm thinking like that, I get excited.
Right.
You
So
know?
yeah.
It's like I just get jazzed right up. But I can get it quiet in my head now.
You couldn't do that before.
Oh no,
could you?
no, not at all. No, I could never do that. It was always a voice, and I knew it was my voice, and going in, stirring up a whole bunch of stuff in my head, causing me to be confused, causing me to be misdirected, causing me to do my will,
Yeah.
and not his. But I can actually get it to get quiet. I can be on the road, I can be at work, or I can be at home, and it just gets quiet. There's no noise there anymore.
So check this out. I used to be a service technician here in town.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would have to drive a couple, 2, 3, 4 hours, right? And so I'm left alone with me.
It dangerous, huh?
So what I started doing is I started listening to a lot of recovery podcasts or whatever. And then every now and then I would just turn the music off,
Mm-hmm.
turn the radio off, and just sit there and enjoy what I was looking at. Because I remember around this time I had to go up. I don't even remember. I've been here for 5 years and I don't remember all the towns, but it was
Sure.
somewhere up like in a plateau, and all you could see was a sheet of ice. And I remember thinking to myself, like, man, this is so cool. And then that thought came right away, and I was like, maybe no, stop. It was automatically going to like a place that you and I both know.
Yeah.
And I pulled myself out of it because I was like, yeah, no. And then I thought to myself, right after that thought, I thought, what if I got a flat tire? I have no service. So I know as we have a little more clarity, we have pretty good control over what we allow to play.
Yeah, today. Very much so.
What do you do? What do you do for fun?
Chase you down the road on the bike, man. I ride my motorcycle. I love that. Really love that. I hit bowling every now and again. I'm not really good at it, but it's kind of fun. The camaraderie is cool.
Yeah.
Bingo, I played for the first time in my life, and I was clueless. I had no idea I just thought it was a very simple game of calling out a bunch of numbers. So they got like squares and stuff like that. that was cool. And I had to pay attention. And it was late at night, and I'm jacked up on coffee, and I'm just like, everybody having a good time. That was fun. Um, Usually, for fun. I like I get along with my dog, and she's getting old, so I'll take her out and I'll get away and I get to meet people in the neighborhood again, but this time they're not afraid
Yeah.
to talk to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I pulled heat out on people coming into my yards wanting to be nice and that, and my drinking was not going to allow that stuff at all. Getting back into photography, and I got my camera out. I got my batteries all charged up, and I'm waiting for the day. It's a beautiful day today, but I want to get back into that.
Did you ride here today?
No, dude. I was talking to Brandon, and this is the day that I wanted yesterday when I rode, but today God put it on my heart to not ride because I'm riding dirty. If I do, I don't have tabs on my bike, and I figured, yeah, I'll get picked up for sure. Having a really good day, going to come over here and see Richie and other people in the program, and no, not today. So I
Yeah.
drove the truck. So I got to wait till Monday night when I get my tabs. But
Look at it. Look at the conversation. Look at what you just said, though.
yeah,
Before we wouldn't care, right?
nah, dirty was that was my daily.
Yeah.
You know, you know. But today it's like I got people I get to see. I look forward to seeing people. The men's group is just awesome for me. Uh, we get held accountable. You can't BS another dude. And if you're trying to come off, like rough and tough and stuff like that, there are so many others out there that have been rougher and tougher and have pulled more shenanigans, if you will, than I could ever. And I like it. It's settled me down. It's kind of like I can be real with these guys. I mean, socioeconomically, we're all the way across the spectrum.
Yeah.
Everyone does something different in some way, and in their life, they have gone through the same stuff in a way that I have.
Yeah.
And I get to see their success. I say it a lot in meetings, and I'll say it every time that I hear stuff coming from everybody in the hall that I pick and choose what I want to use because it worked for you. And if it works for you, I'm going to put it into my life. If it works, I keep it. If it doesn't, I just take it back out and I keep going back. And it's working.
Whatever works, man.
It is crazy.
Right? Like I heard. I remember back in the day, some old timer dude told me, "Hey, man, everybody's bottom is
Yeah.
different, but it's the same."
Yeah.
And I was like, well, "What do you mean, man?" And he's like, "Yeah, it doesn't matter." He's like, "You could have ended up in the streets, or you could have been, you know, pimping yourself out."
Mm-hmm.
But the pain, the remorse, all that guilt, everything, it's all the same. We all had that same bottom.
Yeah.
And when he said it that way, I could understand it, and I remember hearing that because just you mentioning everybody's in a different place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Economically,
Yeah.
socially, but we're all the same, man.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool when we all take off on bikes and just go somewhere.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's pretty fun. That was actually pretty fun. I really enjoy
Yeah, chasing you up.
that.
Let's see, where'd we go? Went Desert Air. I run with 9 other sober bikers. I've never run with 9, 8, probably never more than 2 sober bikers in my life, and I wasn't one of them. And it was just, it was cool. Just sobriety, going someplace, sharing, riding back, enjoying the. Dang, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was
Incredible.
that was pretty badass, man. I remember holding on for dear life because the guy that was in front, I was right behind him, and all of a sudden he just hit it, and I was like, "Oh man, I've never been up this fast on the bike and on that bike, anyways." And I remember thinking to myself, once he took off and I caught up to him, and I was like, "Well, this isn't that bad." And I remember looking through the mirrors and watching everybody staggered. I was like, "Man, this is so badass."
Sick.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I remember riding behind you, and you were on a cruiser, and I know you used to ride metrics bikes, and I was thinking, dude, if he's riding like this on a cruiser, he had to be a crazy man on the streets.
Little rough.
Yeah,
um, not anymore. I mean, I'm very cautious. I've
yeah,
obviously, know, man, you're on it, you're gonna fall no matter what, right?
yeah.
And all you can do is just be careful and ride safe. But I remember when I came into sobriety, clean and sober. Uh, I remember thinking, well, what the hell am I gonna do now for fun?
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of the biggest. That was one of the biggest fears I had,
Hmm.
right? And then once the weather changes, we wanted to buy a house, right?
Right.
My wife and I wanted to buy a house so we can have a house, and we have a house now. But when the weather changes and the weather's really nice, we're never in this house because now we're always camping. We're always doing something somewhere with somebody because somebody's doing something.
Yeah.
Like there's so much to do. You know, springtime comes, summer comes. Who's ever home? Like nobody's ever home.
No.
I mean, I have so many things to do, so many fun things to do.
Hmm.
If I could only be, if I could only go back in time and be like, bro, knock it off. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna want some time off. We have so much fun, man.
Man, when I was drinking, I never did that. I was on the seat of a
Yep.
bar stool rather, or at my home drinking, and nothing was ever really enjoyed. I mean, you had that brief back slapping, hey brother, good to see you, and stuff like that, and have shots and stuff, and then it just get all messed up. And I didn't really care about that guy. I mean, really, not like I love my brothers here now. And that's truthful. It just never ever happened. And now it's like you say, if even with the weather being socked in like it's been for the last month, people are doing stuff.
Yeah,
And
we're always doing something. Football season
oh
and
yeah,
cooking, and somebody always has something going, right?
yeah, and I'm included now.
Yeah.
Like in the past, if it was socked in and I didn't have any money to go out and get drunk in the bars or something like that, nobody would call me.
Yeah.
Nobody would, I didn't really hear from anybody. But now it's like today I got 2 phone calls early in the morning, uh, and I'm doing stuff today. I'm having fun. I mean, this is a gas being here with you. This is awesome.
Thanks,
And
man.
oh yeah, I'm looking forward to more times.
You're kicking off the channel again. We haven't done it. We had to wait for people to
Hmm.
agree, and
Yeah.
now we've got so many people that agree. I was like, oh, why? I should just kept asking people. And
Oh,
then, but anyways, yeah, no. So this is what I ask everybody. Um, what would you say to somebody, man, woman, child, struggling, trying to get sober? What words of encouragement would you give them? What advice would you give them?
wow. If you're listening and you're struggling, believe that you may not like to hear it, but believe that God can work in your life. And the God of my understanding may not be the same as somebody else's, but we all have the one thing in common: God can save you. God puts people in your life like Richie and like the people in the fellowship halls that actually know what's going on. You might not like to, like I didn't want to be told. They didn't tell me, they just suggested. Believe that you can get sober, you can get clean and sober, and you can stay that way. And you got support, you got people. You're going to go through some pain, when you're kicking, but it's going to be good. It's going to be well worth it. Trust me, it's an awesome program. It bring you alive. It'll show you a life you're probably not living now, and it's going to be better, way better. Get, just get ready to get connected because you're going to be, especially in this fellowship.
Yeah,
Right on.
it's awesome.
It is.
All right, Jim. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate
Oh,
this.
thank you.
So, guys, thank you for tuning in again. We got more people coming up. Remember, um, like, share, and subscribe, and tell a friend, man. All we're trying to do here is promote any 12-step program.
Hmm.
We want people to just get well. If you know of anybody that you want me to interview, shoot me an email, hit me up. If you know my number, hit me up, leave a comment. We'll see you guys soon.